Ain't Nobody by Rufus and Chaka Khan. Let's talk about it. Ain't Nobody was released in 1983 as part of the live album Stomping at the Savoy. Chances are you've heard this track before, or you've potentially played it on a cover gig. But what makes this drum part unique and so incredibly difficult to play accurately? The drums for this track were recorded by John J.R. Robinson, who is currently the most recorded studio drummer in history. Known for his legendary groove and feel, his drumming can be heard on albums such as Off the Wall by Michael Jackson, Back in the High Life by Steve Winwood, Dancing on the Ceiling by Lionel Richie, and even Random Access Memories by Daft Punk, as well as hundreds more. After recently finishing JR's brand new book, King of the Groove, JR talks about how Ain't Nobody was originally written and recorded. It was recorded at Amigo Studios in Hollywood, California. I went in and laid down the groove, replacing the machine drums with my own concept. We all chose to lay the kick and snare down in one pass. This approach was being used a lot in the early 80s to keep the hi-hat out of the snare mic. I then added the hi-hat and the fills. This was purposely designed by Hort Walensky, who is one of the songwriters of Ain't Nobody, to create a groove that is danceable and infectious. So what this means is that technically the full drum part was never played together. It was overdubbed using two separate tracks. The kick and the snare on one, and then the hi-hat and the drum fills on the other one. The whole song alternates between two main drum grooves, a verse groove and a chorus groove. So first of all, let's talk about what's happening on the kick and the snare drum during the verses. If we take a look over the transcription, we've got a snare drum played on beat 2 and beat 4. Played at full speed, the tempo of Ain't Nobody is around 104 BPM, but if we slow things down a little for now, the snare drum should sound like this. For the kick drum part, to get this accurate, we're going to have to use a 16th note count in 4/4. So we're going to count this as 1 E under, 2 E under, 3 E under, 4 E under. So the first kicks that we're going to play land on 1 and E. So with the backbeat on 2 and 4, this is what the first kick drums should sound like. Now we're going to add in the next one on the A of 2. Once we've got that one down, we're going to add the next one that lands on the A of 3. And then another kick drum on the E of 4. And then finally on the A of 4. And to be honest, this is the kick drum that makes this groove super tricky, because having the kick drum here basically means that when the kick pattern loops back around, we've now got 3 kick drums in a row, which should sound something like this. Just that kick and snare drum pattern alone can take some getting used to, especially having those 3 single kicks in a row. But the next challenge is going to be adding the hi-hat. What we're going to do on the hi-hat is we're going to take our normal 16th note pattern. So 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and we're going to change it slightly by dropping 3 16th notes. The 3 16ths that we're going to get rid of is beat 3, the E of 3, and the and of 3. So with the backbeat on 2 and 4, this is what the hi-hat part should sound like. Once you're comfortable with that, we can then add in the kick drum part to complete the verse groove. I'm going to play this at around 85 BPM, and then I'm going to slowly bring it up to full tempo. Definitely not the easiest groove, having that 3/16 note space and still keeping everything in time. But believe it or not, it's about to get even more difficult. Let's take a look over the chorus groove. The chorus thankfully switches back to a traditional 16th note hi-hat pattern. So we've got 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. So we're not going to have that awkward 3/16 note gap we had in the verse. But instead, we're going to add one more layer to this. And we're going to be using the left foot to open and close the hi-hat on the E of 4 and the A of 4. So when you put this all together, keeping the backbeat on 2 and 4, just on the hi-hat and the snare, you're going to have something that sounds like this. Now we're going to add in the kick drum pattern from the verse to complete the chorus groove. Just like before, I'm going to play this slowly first and gradually bring it up to full speed. I can't lie, getting the coordination down for this, having those 3 kicks overlapping the hi-hat part, really took some time and patience. But like anything, with a bit of dedicated time and practice, I'm sure you'll be able to get this down and be able to play the groove accurately and not just stick to some weird alternative version that I've also been guilty of doing for quite a long time now. If you found this video helpful, drop me a comment below. I would love to hear how your practice is coming along. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see future uploads. You can also follow me over on Instagram at AlexBlackDrums. And last but not least, you can download the full transcription for this track and a lesson worksheet I've put together to help get both of those grooves down for completely free over on my website, alexblackdrums.co.uk. I'll put that link in the description as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.